time for winners and losers from the Southern 500. Let's get your losers are more fun, so we'll hold on to that. Let's get your winner from Darlington. Alexis?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about somebody that we haven't talked about yet. Obviously, we've talked about some winners and losers already, but Ross Chastain, I think, deserves a bit of a shout-out. You know, he was somebody who hasn't had a top 5 finish since his win at Nashville, several weeks ago. That team has been one that I know people were wondering what's going on, a bit of a downward trend, but right when it counts, they dug deep, and he even mentioned in his post-race availability that it was a hard-fought 5th place finish for him in that team yesterday, but they were able to do that, get out of the first race in the first round in a reasonable position, and they have to be feeling like that's a win today for sure.
Got to go along with that. That's definitely a winner. Jeff Hammond.
The guy who's still leading the points after Darlington, believe it or not, by 1, and that is William Byron. And that's what I think is important for him and Rudy Fugel is they need to come out of Darlington with a solid start in these playoffs. I know they got speed, but you've got to have a little bit of luck factor. And getting by the lady in black tells me that your luck's working pretty good.
Yeah, William Byron, he's always there. Came home with a nice 4th place finish in the Liberty University Chevrolet. Brad Gilly, you got a winner?
Yeah, I do. And I know we already talked about him, but Tyler Reddick, I mean, that is a huge jump in the standings. They went from being on the right side of the playoff standings way over to the left side to jump up to 3rd right now, sitting at plus 30 above the cut line. That's a big deal. They had a really, really soft summer. Not that they had performance issues. In some races they did. They had execution issues. And I think yesterday they did what they needed to do to just simply have an honest day. And short of winning the race, getting out of there in a much more comfortable playoff position. If they can continue to do this, I think last night's performance, both on pit road and on the racetrack, could be good enough to now get them into the round of 8, and I had them going out in the first round.
All right, there you go. Those are all of our winners. Now it's time for the shape of an L on her forehead, the losers from Darlington. Alexis, what you got?
I just want to first say thank you for letting me go first because you're giving me all of the easy picks by doing that.
Yeah, you stole mine.
I know. Well, hey, say, look, easy first pick for loser. Unfortunately, Martin Truex Jr. They had a really rough outing at Darlington. Somebody who went into this race looked at as a favorite in this playoffs, a favorite to possibly get to the Final Four. And yes, that could still happen, but they went into the race tied for the lead, and now they're 20 points below that. So they have to be wondering exactly, what went wrong at Darlington. They had a loose wheel. They had to pit forward, never was able to rebound from that. And just unfortunate for them. It's got them in a bit of a hole. Even with all the playoff points he went in with, has them in a bit of a hole in this first round.
Jeff Hammond.
Unfortunately, I have to look down and say Michael McDowell. As much, basically everybody's been on a high about him and his family and all the great things that this young man has been accomplishing and doing here as of late. This did not bode well for them as far as they're concerned, and he's going to have to do something really spectacular moving forward if he expects to make it out of the first round.
Might take him getting a W, I think.
Exactly.
If he wants to advance.
If he wants to advance.
Tough day for the likable Michael McDowell. Brad Gilly.
I'm going to have to go with Christopher Bell. I know some other people had some bad luck and ill-timed things happen to them, but for Christopher Bell and that team, they just simply had execution issues. Going into this race and winning the pole for the race, leading some laps early, and then essentially beating yourself throughout the rest of the event. 500 miles was a long night for that number 20 team, and, to me, beating yourselves is worse than getting caught in bad luck.
I know Denny Hamlin scored some stage points and he won the first 2, but then his team or something goes wrong and he thinks he's got a loose wheel. The team says there's no loose wheel, but the net gain was that Denny Hamlin wound up finishing 25th after leading 177 laps. That's losing. And Denny Hamlin with a chance to pad an impressive season and go on and secure a spot in the playoffs lets it slip away with some kind of miscue on pit road. I guess we'll eventually unravel what that was.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of great content we post weekly from our Fast Talk, O'Reilly Auto Parts Pit Reporters, or JC's Garage programs.